Hey team, so today I am going to go over the weekly practice on Tuesday with you. If you had questions in class and I weren't able to get to you, or if you just didn't get finished, hopefully this will help you finish it so you come to class ready to discuss. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start with number 1. So find the quotient of 368 and 5. So the first thing we have to remember is, what does the word quotient mean? And remember, Miss Gillum said this is one of her favorite words. So the quotient means to divide. So we are going to take 368 and divide it by 5. Your answer should be in decimal form, so that's really going to be important. I'm going to try to move this down real quick. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so first we need to ask ourselves, how many times can 5 go into 3? And we know that it can't. So then we look at 5 into 36. Well, I know that 5 can go into 36 7 times, because if I count by my 5s, I'll get to 35. So I'm going to subtract 35. I have a remainder of 1. So that remainder, if you're doing short division, you're just going to stick it right up there, and that becomes 18. If you are doing long division, you're going to drop the 8 down, and it becomes 18. So then I look at how many times does 5 go into 18. It goes in there 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15. So 18 minus 15 is 3. But we have a remainder, and this is where the decimal comes in. We need to add a 0 to keep dividing, but to do that and not change the value of the number, we need to have the decimal that goes after every whole number. Then we can add the 0 in the decimal place value. Because right now, if I look at 368 up here, there is no decimal, but there is. They're just zeros and we don't write them because they're not needed. So then I would carry my 3 over. 5 goes into 30 6 times. But we have to remember to carry this decimal up. That's what some of you are forgetting. So you should have 73 and 6/10 for number 1. Okay, now we're going to move over to question number 2. So evaluate the following if A is 3 6/10 and B is 2 4/10. So it's been a couple weeks. Well, we haven't evaluated this semester, but we evaluated in first semester. So evaluate means you're just going to replace the values, the letters, with your variables with their values. So if I rewrite this, remember this right here means 2 times A. So 2 times 3 6/10 plus 2 4/10. So order of operations comes into play. I need to do this 2 times 3 6/10. So you might come over here and do your 3 6/10 times 2. Just remember, ignore that decimal. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus the 1 is 72. But then we see we have one number that's behind a decimal, so our answer should also. So that means this simplifies down to 7 2/10 plus 2 4/10. Remember, you can add your decimals by lining up the decimals. Some of you might be able to do this step in your head since the decimals are pretty easy. 2 plus 4 gives you 6. 7 plus 2 gives you 9. Bring the decimal down. So your final answer should be 9 6/10. Remember to box in your answers. It helps me grade faster. And it helps you know what was the answer. Okay, moving on to dividing 5 wholes divided by 1/6. So last week I gave you the wholes. So if you're not sure, you could have drawn your wholes. So there's 5 wholes, and I'm dividing them into 1/6. Actually, I'm going to show you a faster way to divide. I'm doing it the long way. So the fast way to make 6 is to divide in thirds and then cut this way. Thirds, cut, thirds. That was a bad thirds, but cut. Thirds, cut, thirds, cut. Okay, so the question, when we're thinking of division means how many of these are in 5. So it's how many 1/6 are in 5. So I would count every single 1/6. So I would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way until you counted them all, and that would be 30. Some of you have noticed that, 5 times 6 would give me that answer. And we're going to talk about we're going to continue to talk about this week, why this works. Okay, and last question, number 4. Find the area of the shaded region. Well, first, we have to talk about, well, what is this shape? This is a rectangle. So how do we find the area of a rectangle? It's area equals length times width. Okay, so if I find the area of that, so we have area equals, our length would be 8, our width, that's a bad 8, sorry, times 12. Okay, so that gives me A equals, and 8 times 12 would be 96. If you're not sure, you could have done 8 times 10, which was 80, and 8 times 2, which was 16, adds up to 96. And that would be centimeters squared. But the question is not for the entire rectangle. If I look at what is shaded in right here, I can see that that's half. Or I can also see that it's divided into 2 parts. So that means I need to take my 96 and divide it by 2 to determine how much the shaded region is. And this is actually leading us into being able to find the area of triangles. So 2 goes into 9 4 times. That leaves me with 8. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So 48 centimeters squared would be the area of the shaded region. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day, guys. Bye.